Welcome to Editing in Final Cut Pro. I'm glad that you are here. The goal of this video series is to take an application like Final Cut Pro that is so huge and intimidating and feature-laden and simplifying it to such a way so that you can jump in and hit the ground running editing videos like a pro. Let's get going. My name is Steve and I'm a videographer. I've been editing videos for about 15 years and I have been using Final Cut Pro the whole time with that. And let me say, I think it is an outstanding app. It's one of my absolute favorites. And my hope is by the time we get to the end of this video series, you'll be of the same opinion. So let's get going into this. A couple things I need to point out as we're getting started. First, what the video series is not, what the video series is. We'll talk about some keyboard shortcuts and then I'll talk about the next couple of videos. First, what is this video series not? This video series is not an all-inclusive, comprehensive, get to know every single tiny little detail and how to do absolutely everything within Final Cut Pro. That would take hours and hours, and actually that would take days, and we don't have time for that, and I'm sure that you are not interested in that as well. What this video series is, rather, it is 9 videos that will be each about 10 minutes or so. And the purpose of the shorter videos is so that you can do it in little chunks. You finish the video. If you want, you can take time to digest what was taught. You can take some time to practice and get to know the different commands and things that were taught. If you need to, you can go back and review something. Easy to find it. Just go back to whatever video it was in, rather than if this was a 2-hour-long video having to try and scrub through everything. So it is broken into little parts to hopefully make it easier for you and make it a little easier for me to teach, if I were to be honest. What next I need to talk about is keyboard shortcuts. Now, every modern operating system has something called keyboard shortcuts. You can use your mouse to click on things, or certain commands like save or open or print or undo have a series of keystrokes that you can do rather than clicking on a menu and dropping down and selecting. Final Cut Pro has its own set of keystroke commands. So what they are is shortcuts. So rather than clicking on a menu and hunting all the way through menus to try and find something, I hit a series of keys to do something. Let me show you in the app, for example, how that looks. If I want to import something, which is something we'll go over in the next couple of videos, I can click on the File menu, I can move down to Import, and I can click on Media, which means Import Media, and then my window pops up. There's a shorter way that you can do that. You may have noticed when I dropped down File and went to Import and over to Media, that on the right-hand side of the screen, right there, is a little Command I. That is the label for the keyboard shortcut. And if you look at other commands, let's drop down the Edit menu, all the way down this window, you can see there are different keystroke commands, keyboard shortcuts, excuse me. Any one of those, I can do those keyboards shortcuts instead of clicking on it. So if I want to import something, I can come down here, drop down File, select Import, click on Media like this, or I can hit Command I, and it opens the window. Every time I go to do something like this and there's a keyboard shortcut that I frequently use, if I think it is helpful, I will put up on the screen, up on that side of the screen, the keystrokes that you have to do that command. So, for example, in this case, if I want to do an import and I do Command I, it'll show up just like that. So be watching for those. And as you get familiar and more comfortable with the app and use it more frequently, I would recommend, if there are commands that you'd use a lot and you find yourself using them a lot, figure out what the keystrokes are for that and use those. Those keyboard shortcuts can save you a whole lot of time. One of the benefits of Final Cut Pro is that editing in it, you can move really, really fast. You can cut videos together really, really quickly. Those keyboard shortcuts will help you do that. So remember keyboard shortcuts. And then finally, I need to talk about the next couple of videos. They are not actually editing in those first 2 videos, but they set some basic foundation for stuff you need to know. And I would suggest strongly that you don't skip them. The first video, which is actually the next video, the second in the series, is on the layout of the program. When you open it up for the first time, you notice there's all kinds of stuff here, all kinds of buttons you can click, lots and lots of menu items. There are different sections of windows, lots and lots of things. The next video is going to go over the different parts of that so that when we start to edit, you can feel comfortable knowing when I say click in the browser or look down in your project window what I'm talking about. So that will be the next video. And the third video in the series, if I will be honest, is probably the least interesting of all of them. However, I would say it is probably the most important. It is about file structure, how you set up your file when you start editing. Video editing, if you haven't done it already, can take a lot of hard drive space. And if you don't set up your libraries properly, you can run out of hard drive space in a hurry. So this is an important video. Please, if you haven't done this before, please don't skip that because you could run into trouble down the road. So the next couple of videos on the layout of the screen and on file structure, please don't skip those. I promise I'll keep them short, and then we'll get into video editing, which you want to do later on. All right. So that's everything. As always, when you're watching a video, you might notice down below there is a button you can click to like. If you wouldn't mind clicking on that, that helps me out. I can help people or help know what people like, what they're interested in. You can also follow me, and then you can also subscribe to my channel, because there are videos that I'll be making down the road. There's videos there now. You can see what's coming. If you subscribe, you can see those. And if you follow, anytime I update or anytime I go live, you'll be notified of that. So if you would do that, I would appreciate that. If you don't want to, not a problem. Don't worry about it. I'm glad you're here. I hope you enjoy the videos, and I hope you find them helpful. All right, that's it. Let's get on to video number 2. I'm out.